Hello and welcome to Dee Blooms. So I just got the email yesterday from Nina at Ninja Orchids in regards to a care collab for Dendrobium Unicum. Not sure if I'm saying that right, but I happen to have one of these plants, and I'm excited to participate with the care collab. If you're new to care collab and what this means, there are a number of orchid growers around the world that grow the same plants. And so this particular one, there's a group of us that will film our care videos and how we care for this particular orchid, and as a collaboration to share our different techniques. We all have various growing environments and how things work for us and things that don't work for us. So if you're watching my video, I am going to be listing all the other channel participants in my comments with links to their channel or the actual video for this type of orchid, and so you can check those all out. I'm encouraging you to do that so you can figure out which grower has your type of environment, so you can hear their successes and apply it to hopefully be more successful and learn how to grow this wonderful orchid. In the viewfinder, I'm showing you the base of the plant, and it's not much to look at. It starts off as a beautiful leaved growth and then eventually loses its leaves. It's a deciduous type of dendrobium. And I got this from Andy's Orchids about 1.5 years ago, and it's got a culture information on it, which has helped me. So it says to keep, for watering, keep it moist. Temperature is cold, intermediate, warm, and the light is bright. And it actually says right there by my thumb, deciduous. So I grow this outside. I live in Southern California and I have mild winters. It's very rare that temperatures go below freezing, but this past winter we actually had our temperatures. I grow it here on a back shaded patio, and I got close to 34 degrees, so it was pretty close to freezing, but I kept a close eye on it and everybody made it through just fine. I keep this also through our hot winters. Our winters can get up to, gosh, in the sun over 100 degrees. So here on the shaded patio, it can get into the 90s easily. So I definitely water more. But before I go into culture, this is going to be a two-part video, because as soon as I was invited, I knew I had to get out here and start filming, because this orchid had, over this last season, grew these two beautiful canes and has been working on these amazing flower buds. Last year, I only had one flower bud and one flower, and that's it. So I am so excited about all these flower buds, but I don't know if they're ever going to open. They have been maturing and maturing and maturing for 2.5 months, approximately, and a couple of them have just aborted. They just dropped right off. So it's going to be really disappointing if these buds just don't get a move on and start opening up. I'll post a picture of the one flower I had last year, and so cross your fingers that the next part of this video will show some open flowers. It might not, but I wanted to get out here and show you guys the buds. And then I've started watering this. I've got a new little growth starting up way down here. Let me see if it'll let me zoom. A little tiny growth. I hope I'm going to get more than just one, but we'll see what happens. But I'll talk about specific care and how I've grown this so far in the next part of this video. This was the first feature, and so stay tuned. Here we are 1 week later from when I just shot the first part of this video, and I am so excited. I've got 2 buds that have opened. They look, they look pretty normal from what they, the one I had blooming last year. So I don't think there's an infestation problem. I don't see anything. Let's try to zoom in here. I have the iPhone 14 Pro that I got for Christmas, and the zoom feature is just messed up. Do not recommend it at this point. It looks gorgeous. I don't see any infestation as to why. Let's see here. This bud dropped without opening, and this one over here, there isn't much left. There's a little bit of the twig right here. So these were the two I lost, and I still have plenty buds to go. Looks like this one might be opening up next, and maybe this one. Then I have this whole other cane that has plenty of buds. And look at this over the last week, this little guy. So, and the new growth is, I think, doing well. Oh, is that possibly another new growth right there? I hope so. Yep, that's another new little growth right there. So I'll have two canes, it looks like, for this growing season. But so, okay, I'm gonna stop this part of the video, and I will do hopefully another one this next week. And hopefully we'll have more buds open, if not all of them. I have a feeling it won't be all of them yet. It seems to be a progression. Stay tuned. It's another week later. Oh, and I've got an audience of crows in the neighborhood. And there are 6 buds open now. I am so happy and excited that they have decided to open and show their beautifulness, and they smell amazing, like sweet candy honey. And yeah, there's quite a number of buds left to go to open. And so I'm going to take another video here in another week. I've been doing this each Sunday. There's still a little bud right there, and I've got the new growth coming up, and then there's still another little new growth right here that's not really doing much. It's hard to see, but hopefully that I'll get 2 new growths this next season. Here we are another week later, and these beauties are all starting to open up. I'm so happy. I still got more here that aren't open yet, but you can really start seeing the pattern that they have. They're just so pretty, and they smell really sweet. I've had problems with some of them, like this one. I don't know if something attacked it. I've been finding some aphids on some other plants in this area on my back patio, so starting to struggle with aphids a little bit. So I don't know if these are being impacted by that, but like this one doesn't look like it's gonna do very well right here, but this one back here is gonna open. I think it'll be okay. Got another one here, some more that are still more green, and then still have this one that's on this one of the older branches. And the new growth is coming along, I think, pretty strong. I think it's doing good. And let's see here. I think that's another, oh no, what is that? That might be another growth right there. There's definitely a new growth right here at the base of this cane. I didn't notice this before. This little, see if I can, see if my finger can find it. Went too far. I don't know what that is. That might be another new growth. Not sure. Definitely got 2 new growths though. And so I'm going to wait another week, and hopefully these will almost all be open up. Just so happy. And again, the fragrance is really sweet, and so I've been enjoying that. And since I have new growth starting, I have started to water very well over the past few weeks, so I want to support this new growth. Otherwise, this went through a very dry winter rest. I give just tiniest bit of water, maybe once a month. And yeah, so happy. There'll be another update. Hang in there. And here we are, I think, with the final update before we put out our Care Collab video on Dendrobium Unicum. And mine is, in my opinion, in its full glory. I'm just so happy. This is my second year owning this plant, and it grew a couple canes for me, and as you've seen from the bits of video over the last few weeks, you've watched them opening up with me. Unfortunately, my husband accidentally bent the cane. He didn't break it, but it got bent, so I decided to stake this up. I want to support the cane. Otherwise, I really like the pendulous look to the canes, like this one. And as you can see, these flowers are already starting to go over. They were in bloom for a few weeks for the most part. Got one last one, which I'm trying to focus. One last one there, and then I have this one bud still waiting to open on one of the older canes. That one's just going in slow motion, but the big pink cane here is in full bloom. So let's move around here, try to show you all the beautiful detail, and it smells wonderful. It's just a light, sweet fragrance. Highly enjoyable. So if someday I have multiple canes of this and hanging around, I just don't see it as being super offensive or overly sweet where it gives you a headache or anything like that. Just highly recommend it, and it's pretty easy as long as you give it that dry winter rest. So as to my care, I grow it out here on my patio year round. I live in Southern California, and the coldest it gets out here on the patio was like just right above freezing. So like 34 degrees this last winter. Of course, if there's gonna be a frost, I will definitely bring them into my garage and protect them during those nights. But I've been pretty lucky. That's not what's happened. Oh, I see another bud here. So during the winter, I barely watered it, maybe just once a month, just a tiny little drink on this moss right here. And then now that it's growing, I've got a new growth here. I've got a new growth here. I think this might be a keiki. I'm not sure. But that'd be great if I got like 3 new canes. I have been weekly watering it, and I've started fertilizing to help support the new growths. So I do weekly. I pretty much fertilize my dendrobiums the same as my Phalaenopsis. Weekly, and then 1 week I just do a flush. And I have a whole bunch of jugs of rainwater. They're off in the distance under there. I still have rainwater in my rain barrels. I'm gonna fill those up. Hopefully they will last me through the summertime. If not, I'll switch to tap water, and I will lessen the fertilizer even more. I'm already doing a weak solution, but if I'm ever watering with tap water, I do an even weaker solution because the tap water comes with its own minerals, and it's bad to over fertilize any orchid. It can just do so much damage, and you can easily lose the plant. So here we are in spring. So that's what I'm doing, weekly, 4th week flush. Temperatures are starting to come up. And I really, the medium is still good. It's a fine bark mix. It has this original clump of moss that it was on a mount, and I've just left it. It was super attached. I wasn't going to rip it away, and so as long as it's growing well, I'm going to just leave this. But it's got roots. There are definitely roots down in here. I don't know if this video will show them to you, but they're in there. And so roots have spread down throughout the pot over the last couple years that it's been in this setup. Probably next year I'll do a refresh of the medium, but it's still good medium right now. It's not crumbling or turning to dust. It's got some perlite, little wood chips, moss at the bottom of the pot, little bits of charcoal. Yeah, and it seems to be doing well. So I'm looking forward to the growth during the spring, and then come through winter, I'll water even more as the temperature increases. Everything out here will get watered more as the temperature increases. And then come fall, as the new growths hopefully start hardening off and not growing anymore, because then it'll start going into its dormancy. I'll start backing off on watering until I'm not watering at all. And then I just give it a little sip, just like, I'm going to say like a teaspoon of water just on this little moss area, just to dampen it, like once a month during the late fall, winter. So, and then once I start seeing the buds going, I know it's waking up. And then as the buds go, the new growth start, and then I start up on the weekly watering schedule again. It's like ramping up, ramping down. If you're good with schedules, this is a great plant for you. And I'm again very lucky to live in Southern California, but if you live in a region or area that the winters are just too cold, you could overwinter this in a garage. I would just make sure it doesn't go less than freezing. That's really all, because like I said, we had 34 degrees. It was in the 30s for quite a bit this winter. We had a really cold winter, and it did just fine. And look what I get awarded with. This needs a cold drop as well as the dry winter rest in order to promote it to bloom. You can't just grow it inside in like 70-degree temperatures and expect it's ever going to bloom for you. You have to give it some form of temperature drop, and of course the dry winter rest. And my lighting out here, it's always shaded. It gets a little bit of direct light in the morning. This is east going this way. So it gets a little bit of direct light, but not for very long. And then it's just in this bright shaded patio that I have. So it probably really enjoys the little bit of that direct light for a bit. Although I kind of think it would do just fine even without that little bit of morning direct light. It should bloom for you. So if you have any questions as to how I am growing this, if I left something out, I think I've covered watering, fertilizing, how I have it potted up. Yeah, I hope that's helpful, and please check out everyone else's videos. There's several other growers that have this dendrobium, and they might grow in the region that's closer to how you would think about caring for this particular orchid. So just one more shot here. Sorry for my ramblings, but it's just such a beautiful, beautiful bright orange. And again, sweet, sweet smelling. So much fun. Love it. Thank you for watching, and hope you have a great rest of your day.